church parcel. It's behind where the cemetery ended, and it was closer to Cranbury Neck Road. And it was on the Alvin Updike property. Alvin Updike lived in a house that he built. His father lived in the White House that's here on Main Street in Cranbury Neck Road. And this was the farm property. And there was a barn here, and it was destroyed, was taken down, dismantled because it had fallen into bad repair. This barn had been here since 1741, excuse me. The beams, you can imagine, this beam here is 20 inches high in the middle. It was a living tree in the 1600s, and had to be a big tree even in the 1600s. So what happened was that the barn was falling down. If you look at the main posts here, all the main posts have been repaired, some of them extensively, this one here in particular. So the barn was in serious condition. The people who lived at 12 Cranbury Neck Road did not want the barn. And Maurice Lee, who lives in what is the old man's on Sims Court, brought it to our attention and said that these people didn't want it. So we managed to negotiate with Mr. and Mrs. Howard, got the barn dismantled by the barn company in the summer of 2005. The barn went into storage, just the members that you see, all the structure. And it was then repaired, and then it got put back together this past summer and this fall. The rafters are original. They're put together with pegs at the top. They had to be held together while they were being put back up, just to keep them from spreading, but they're original. The main beams are original. This is part of the haymow. The hardware is the old hardware you see came from Ball & Ball in Pennsylvania. The latches on the outside doors came from Lidditz, Pennsylvania. And we've got a few other pieces that we still don't have. Now, if you look at the floor and you look at the walls, it's quite extraordinary. The floor you're standing on in the middle is 2 inches thick. 2 inches thick. And it's all white pine, and it's all tight knots. It's extraordinary. The wood over here is about 1 inch thick, but there are 2 layers. So that you've got a double layer here. Now, the concession we have to make for modern construction is that we have a concrete base under here. So we won't have varmints coming in like we did in the old barn. And then we have 2x4s in a cross pattern on top of the concrete. And then we have 2 layers of wood here. So you've got 2 inches of wood over here on top of each other, and there you have the 2 inches thick wood. This wood all came from like upstate New York and possibly even Vermont and Maine. I'm not sure about those exactly. All the siding that you see on the building was pre-painted, pre-stained, off-site. And I just want to mention the help. I mentioned earlier that we had loads of help. The paint crew, and as I say, this was off-site about 5-6 miles away. We had Wayne Hall, Robert Saliga, my son Bill, my son John, and myself did all this painting off-site. So really nothing was stained on-site. The stain is a Cabot stain. I contacted Cabot and they contributed the stain. The color is called tile red. And then to get all of the siding on site, we had Joe Stassi, who volunteered his truck and his labor. And we had Don Herr, who volunteered one of his trucks. And that's how we got all the siding over here on the site. The work has gone on. We've been very lucky. We had an awfully dry summer, which wasn't good for a lot of things, but for erecting the barn, it was good because the barn never got wet. The roof was on before we had the rain, and then we had tarps on, so it really never got wet. it's a tremendous achievement. The people who worked on this love doing it, and all of us who've been a part of it love doing it. If you look around, over on this beam, those of you who haven't seen it, it says 1741 on one of the beams over here. The bars that go across on the doors here, those are called middlemen. There's a vertical one on the south side and a horizontal one on the north side. Those come out. They are fitted so that they can slide in and slide out, and they come out so you can open the doors. And the middle floor would have been used for the farm machinery, the wagons and so forth. That side of the barn where you have a door on the end, bigger door on the north side, that was used for animals. And this side was used for storage of machinery or whatever, and the middle was used for wagons, and in some barns would have been called the threshing floor. So that's about it, but it's, again, a tremendous project, and all of this wood is just unusual. You would just never see it anywhere. You couldn't go to a lumber yard and get it, because it doesn't exist. It's all special ordered, and it's the premium white pine that's possibly available. If you look at it, a lot of it doesn't even have knots in it, just little kind of knots. So it's extraordinary. If you went to a lumber yard, you wouldn't see this wood at all. So that's about it. It's been an extraordinary effort, and again, an awful lot of people have contributed to getting this done, and it's, I think it's a great addition to Cranbury, and it will have uses that we can't even imagine at this point. So thank you very much for all the help.